Hello and welcome to another episode of Do Go On. My name is Dave Warnocky and as always, I'm here with Matt Stewart and Jess Perkins.
Hello, Dave.
Hello.
Hello, Jess. Hey, what a pleasure to be here. It's so good to be alive. I can't believe it. Dave, this podcast is this is my happy place.
Oh, thank you.
I look forward to it every week. I'm excited to be here. Thanks so much for having me involved once again.
Yeah, we basically do it to keep you going.
It's so interesting too because from the podcast perspective, it kind of sees Matt as like a casual acquaintance, you know? But Matt sees the podcast as his reason for existing.
Yeah, exactly. And we can't shut it down because of that.
I know.
Well,
Matt needs this.
We're trying to wean you off.
Yeah.
We're trying to give you other things.
I think there are listeners out there who are glad that I've got you in this toxic corner where you're not. There's no way out.
Yeah.
You feel like you've just got to keep doing it because otherwise I'll fall apart.
Sometimes I try to jingle my keys, and while he's reaching for the keys, I take the podcast out of his hand. But
Look over here. Look over here.
I turn around.
Not
He's
gonna
got the
fall for that
podcast
one.
here.
Yeah, he starts growling.
It's
Very strange.
I remember when you put a different podcast in peanut butter in my bowl.
yeah.
But I knew. I licked the peanut butter off, but then I spat out that other
Yeah,
podcast.
he's not stupid.
Yuck.
Yeah.
Damn it. Because you're such a fan of the podcast, we enjoy it so much.
Yeah, you
Can
love
you
it.
explain what it means to you and what it is to listen to? What is it?
I should say I'm a big fan of being inside of it. I have no time or care to listen to it.
We have outsourced that bit to AJ.
But no, this is the way it works. One of the three of us usually, unless there's a guest, doesn't matter. That's not relevant this week. We take it in turns.
Oh, boy.
We'll cut out that pause in post.
No, it just sounds like Jess is rude to say, oh boy. When you
AJ, if you could make that pause longer.
Yeah, 15 minutes.
Oh, if it's long, then that was just because AJ did it because it was actually really short. Just taking a quick breath. But the way it works, one of the three of us goes away, researches a topic, usually suggested by a listener. Then they bring that knowledge back in the form of a report. Think of it like a high school report. Year 11.
Yeah.
I like to think year 10, year 11.
Yeah, for year
level
11
report.
That's very complimentary.
It's an oral presentation in English. And the rest of the class ideally would just probably sit and enjoy it. For new listeners, that's what they would tend to want. But old listeners...
Yeah, the teacher has no control of this class.
No, they've lost control.
They've left. They've gone to the staff room to have a cigarette.
Yes, and the people listening, in today's case, me and Jess, will say some tedious, annoying bullshit, dog shit riffs. Mm-hmm. Some people will enjoy those.
Yeah.
Some people will absolutely hate them and be pushed to comment.
Yeah. And to that we say...
You pushed me. You made me do this.
Yeah.
And others will get through a couple episodes and go, actually, I enjoy the dog shit riffs. Like you've become one of those hostages who doesn't mind their
Stockholm
captors.
syndrome.
Well, I don't know what that's got to do with anything. But this week, Dave's doing the report. This is the longest and worst one yet. And
Report, yeah. And he hasn't even started and we know it's going to be terrible.
Oh, Sass Twins are in session. So Jess and I are going to be listening and we're known as the Sass Twins when Dave's reporting.
Because we're
Dave,
sassy.
you get onto the topic with a question. What's your question this week?
All right, I've got a question for you, and that is, which 1990s music rivalry resulted in multiple deaths across the United States of America?
Oh, so it's not Britpop, I'm guessing.
We've lost a Gallagher brother.
Is it? Well, it's not. Wait, it's not a metal. It's not black metal.
It's not black metal.
Because there were that led to deaths, I believe.
Is it musical theatre?
It was Cats versus Wicked.
Oh,
Please.
We're talking about Michael Jackson versus MC Hammer and their battle for the glove.
No.
Okay. Well, I'm out of guesses. I don't know.
It's a rap-based rivalry.
Oh my God! Is it blue versus red? Are we talking about West Coast versus East Coast?
It is absolutely the East Coast, West Coast hip-hop rivalry.
Whoa.
Because I was initially thinking it was Crips versus Bloods, but that's just West Coast.
Yeah, that's both LA-based gangs, but they play a part in this, absolutely.
And I
So you're on the money.
I feel like I'm going to feel pretty comfortable chatting about this. I mean, already me saying Crips versus Bloods, I think people went, oh yeah, he's comfortable in this
He
area.
knows.
This is what it's all about.
Yeah. This is where we're going to see Matt shine. That's what they're thinking.
This one was voted for by our Patreon supporters at patreon.com/dogoonpod. It won over 60% of the vote in a three-way race of musical topics. A lot of people commented they were intrigued as they don't know anything about it. And I'm exactly the same way.
Yeah, I don't know
Going
anything.
in. And still, I don't know anything about it. It's been suggested by quite a few people. You can suggest a topic at any time. There's a link in the show notes or at dogoonpod.com. And thank you to these suggestors. We've got Life Hoffman from Moreno Valley, Southern California. Davey from Kennersville, North Carolina. Danny Francis from Goor in the Netherlands. Jacob Curry from Amble, Northumberland. Matt Spellman from Boston.
Sorry. Jess, could you...
Oh, from Boston.
Thank you.
Matt Spellman from Boston. Is that right? I think I got a little
One more
closer.
time, sorry?
Matt Spellman from Boston.
Yeah, that feels
Great.
right.
We've also got Travis Nadden from Waniassa. How's that? Should I be saying Waniassa?
From where?
Waniassa.
From?
Waniassa.
And their name?
Travis Naden.
And where is Waniassa?
I thought you would absolutely know that for sure.
Oh.
And have the accent locked and loaded, ready to go.
Yeah.
Is it in Massachusetts?
Waniassa. It's actually in the ACT.
Okay, ICT
It's in
accent is like, okay. That's where our politicians are.
That's right. That's the
Bit of fun there.
There's also lots of people there, and they
Capitol Hill.
seem very nice, but
I love that.
politicians.
That's a beautiful city.
Beautiful
Absolutely
city.
love it. Planned city, so it's, everything works.
Gorgeous.
Hannah Metcalf from Cheshire. Tristan Thornton from Greenwich. And Ross McFadzine from the Lakes District in the UK.
Oh my God.
Beautiful place.
What's the Lakes District known for?
what do they
The
got?
Dog and Gun pub in Chiswick is there, and it's fantastic. My dad's favourite pub, went there. That's where I met Alice Cooper. I've told this story before.
That's right. And it wasn't the Alice Cooper you're thinking of.
No, he changed his name by deed poll because he was
Yeah,
a big
cool
fan.
man.
He was a garbage man from London, I think. Anyway, I should say a month ago we did an episode about Huey Lewis, another big musical rivalry, and I, for some reason, forgot to say that it was suggested by Ryan Rodagigliano from Bellingham, Massachusetts. Oh my God. And Michaela McRae from Awabakal in New South Wales. Have we done that before? A month later?
No.
I think we could dedicate a whole episode to making it up to people.
Yeah.
But now's not the time.
Yeah, because now, too little, too late.
Oh, really?
They don't give a shit.
I think they might. I think
Well,
they'll
it's
both...
too late because they've stopped listening.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
They're not. You're just yelling that into the void now. They're gone.
Yeah.
Let them go, man.
Okay.
them go.
You let them down and they left.
If you let them go and they come back, then they're yours to
It's
keep.
meant to be.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
meant to
same
be.
thing.
They're yours to keep.
Whatever.
You own them now.
Yeah, they're yours. You can do whatever you want.
You came back. You're mine now.
I love and hate that voice you do.
Yeah,
It scratches a part of my brain, but also it makes me uncomfortable.
I think, could I be the new, what's that Australian horror movie about that guy?
Wolf Creek?
Wolf Creek. Could I be new Wolf Creek?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's do, yeah.
But you're not John Jarrett level of acting.
No, well, we do like a
Animated
budget
series.
version
Oh,
of
sorry.
it
Yeah.
where, and we call it like Dingo River.
Oh, that's pretty good actually.
Now that you're in my place, you're mine to do with what I choose.
And you also sort of have dingo colouring.
Yeah.
So you could be the twist could be it's about a man named Dingo.
Yeah, I'm a dingo.
You are a part dingo.
Yeah. I'm a dingo.
Great. Okay. Anyway,
So-
Dave, did you want to tell us about?
I'd love to tell you about this hip-hop rivalry.
Thank you.
Yeah, great. But do you think for my film we
Jesus
could get
Christ.
M. Night Shyamalan to direct,
Oh,
and then
M.
he
Night-
could do the dingo twist?
M. Night Shyamalan. Yeah, we probably could. Yeah.
The dingo twist being a hot new dance that's taking over the nation.
Can we mute
All right,
his
please.
mic for a little bit?
Please put him out of his misery. And let me start what I believe could be my longest ever report.
Okay.
To the point that I'm going to split this into 2 episodes, just saying that up the front. Okay.
Part one.
This is part 1, baby. Now, I have to say that I'm a bit of a stranger to the world of hip-hop, particularly
What?
the
Yeah?
early years into the 1990s era we're going to talk about today. Basically, this is me apologising to you if this is your darling or your area of expertise. 'Cause
Dave.
I did my best to get my head around the whole subculture. But I figure a few weeks ago, I know nothing about submersibles or submarines or how to go at researching that. So how hard could it be?
Well, looking at you, I would think, now there's a man who knows hip hop.
Yeah, I didn't listen to a lot of it growing up. But I did a lot of listening the last week when I was
And
researching
what do you
this.
think?
I enjoyed it. A lot more than I thought I would.
I think it's a bit of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got my head around the whole subculture.
For a bit of background, it's widely thought that hip-hop originated on the... Even saying it, I sound bad. Originated on the east coast of America.
Okay.
The Kennedy Center writes, the elements of hip-hop came together in the Bronx borough of New York City. It was the early 1970s and times were tougher than usual for the poorer parts of urban America. From a whole lot of nothing and a whole lot of imagination, hip-hop took form. It continued to develop, transform and spread, but New York and the East Coast had a sense of pride and ownership that the genre had developed there. Some say they had a feeling of superiority over the other rap scenes that developed around America. But by the late 1980s, West Coast hip-hop was thriving and had developed its own scene that was about to explode with commercial success, setting the stage for one of the most notorious music feuds ever.
Whoa.
New York, however, was also the birthplace for one of our main characters in our story today, and I was surprised to learn that they were actually born in New York. A certain Tupac Shakur was born in East Harlem on June 16, 1971, and I had assumed that that was a stage name because it's so freaking cool.
It is a cool name.
But it's not his birth name. His birth name was Lassane Parish Crooks, but at the age of 1, his family renamed him Tupac Amaru Shakur, named after Tupac Amaru II, a descendant of the last Incan ruler who was executed in Peru in 1781 after his failed revolt against Spanish rule.
Wow.
Yeah, and of the name, his mother said, I wanted him to have the name of revolutionary indigenous people in the world. I wanted him to know that he was part of a world culture and not just from a neighborhood.
Wow.
And his mother, Afeni Shakur, was an absolute badass, a political activist and member of the Black Panther Party, an African-American revolutionary party formed in the 60s. In April 1969, she... Nice. And 20 other Black Panthers were arrested and charged with several counts of conspiracy to bomb police stations and other public places in New York. During the 8-month trial, the most expensive in New York history at the time, Afeni found out that she was pregnant. At 23 years old, Shakur chose to represent herself in court despite not having attended law school and facing a 300-year prison sentence.
What?
Jeez, that's long.
Isn't that a long time?
That'd draw out, wouldn't it? And they make you live that long as well.
Yeah, they don't let you go.
They keep you alive.
Oh.
For
That's the thing.
300 years. Is that what happened to you? Were you in prison? Is that why you're so old?
Yeah, I've been in and out of the clink. The big house.
What for, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, that is a very personal question.
Yes.
What's your weight? You know, it's the same.
I don't think it is.
How much do you weigh right now? Same thing.
I really wanted to call his bluff and just answer, but I really don't want to answer. He got me. God damn. Anyway, Dave, keep going.
Oh, that's what we should have called the show.
Keep going.
Anyway, keep
For
going.
the love of God, keep going. That's what it should have been called.
What about...
Welcome back to another episode of For the Love of God, Keep Going. ...
If you must.
And then in brackets, I hate you. That's the subtext. We're all in this is basically a loveless throuple.
Oh, that's another great name. The Loveless Thruple.
Still very sexy.
Oh
Yeah,
my
yeah.
God.
No love.
It's no love, but a
My
lot
God,
of sex.
It's business, not pleasure.
Yeah.
Well, it's pleasure, not
Pleasure,
business.
yeah, that's right,
Well,
yeah.
not emotion. Oh my God. If you cry, you're out.
But Dave cries every time.
The
I'm always
Lusty Thruple.
That's good.
That could be another
The
name.
second best pub in Chiswick.
The Lusty Thruple. Honestly,
Beautiful.
when we start up a pub, and we will eventually.
Of course. It's the natural
we've
next
done
step.
We've done web series. We've done podcasts. We're up to the pub scene, I believe.
I think so. That's
the
next.
Lusty
The
Thruple.
Lusty Thruple.
That's pretty funny, actually. Surprisingly.
So, Tupac's mother, Afeni, was facing a 300-year prison sentence. She chose to represent herself in court. She interviewed witnesses and argued, and incredibly, in her autobiography, she wrote, I was young, I was arrogant, and I was brilliant in court because I thought this was the last time I could speak, the last time before they locked me up forever. I was writing my own obituary. It turns out that police and FBI had infiltrated the Black Panther organization with undercover agents, and Shakur's statements and questioning of the government infiltrators during the trial are credited with helping to expose the FBI's corruption, proving that the undercover agents were in fact responsible for organizing most of the unlawful activity.
my
Oh, wow.
God. That's so fucked.
They're known as the Panther 21. She was accredited with saving them all. They were all acquitted after the trial collapsed. The jury took less than 20 minutes to vote acquittal on all 156 accounts.
Whoa.
And she just did it all.
At 23.
23, pregnant. no experience in a courtroom.
Incredible.
That's hectic.
And then she gave birth to Tupac just 1 month later.
Shit.
You picture, so the FBI are all there going, yeah, they're undercover agents of like, they source the bombs. They take the bombs. They go, yeah, come on, everyone. They're with me. They're with me.
Yeah,
they're lighting the bombs like a big comical wick.
You want this? You want this?
Yeah, we're all doing this together, aren't we? Yeah, let's blow them up.
Yeah. They've tied people to the tracks. They've got their comical mustaches.
This is all of us. This is from all of us. They all sign the card, or they will.
Right,
Sign
guys?
the card.
Right? And then they've turned around and said, you're under arrest.
Yeah,
And they're all going, what are you talking about?
what?
What do you mean?
We've just let you hang around because we felt bad for you.
Yeah, you seemed kind of weird.
Yeah, sorry. But yes, they got off.
Wow.
She did not return to the Black Panther organization after this, and according to biography.com, raising Tupac and his half-sister alone, Afeni worked as a paralegal before sadly developing a crack cocaine addiction in the early 80s, and the family had to move often, struggling for money and living off of welfare. In 1984, when Tupac was 13, the family moved to Baltimore, where the family lived in a 2-story house that had been divided into 2 units. And the teenager had no idea that after he died, that street would in fact be renamed Tupac Shakur Way.
Wow.
But at the time, really struggling. If only you knew, that would have been pretty cool. He enrolled at the prestigious Baltimore School for the Arts, where he said he was the freest he ever felt. He befriended Jada Pinkett, who became the subject of his poems and was a lifelong friend, and he entered and won rap competitions. His family then moved to Marin City, California in 1989 when he was 17. That year, he began attending the poetry classes of Layla Steinberg, and despite having no experience in the music industry, he convinced her to become his manager. He said to her, you should be my manager.
Sorry, what classes was she teaching?
She's a poetry teacher.
Sure. No, those skills translate.
Yeah. But
they're interchangeable.
She fostered and encouraged him, and he really liked her.
Amazing.
So he said, you should be my manager.
That's awesome. That's funny that Marin County is where Huey Lewis moved to as well.
Really?
Big musical town. And should I just say who suggested the Huey Lewis topic?
They're gone.
Apparently they moved there because they thought there was going to be more work and it would be a better life, but it actually was really hard times there. So I don't know if Huey had similar.
Yeah, what era is this?
Late 80s?
Yeah, this is 1989.
Yeah, well, maybe less than a decade later, but they probably were hanging around similar places, I imagine, Huey and Tupac.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And despite her having no experience, Layla, as his manager, she did well and got the young rapper in front of music manager Atron Gregory, incredible name, who secured a gig for him in 1990 as a roadie and backup dancer for the hip-hop group Digital Underground.
Wow.
I love that.
A roadie and dancer.
You're a great rapper. Can you carry an amp?
Yeah.
But he worked his way up. He really impressed them. Sometimes I think they'd let him come up and he'd freestyle, and they were like, well, this kid's got something. So he recorded with the group and debuted under the stage name Tupac, spelt number 2, PAC, on the group's January 1991 single Same Song, which was released on the new record label Interscope Records, which would be his label for a long time. The song was featured on the soundtrack of the 1991 comedy horror film Nothing But Trouble, starring Dan Aykroyd, John Candy, Chevy Chase, and Demi Moore. Wow. I've not heard of this movie.
What an all-star cast.
Yeah, I've also have not heard of it. And yeah, I normally think if it's an all-star cast and a movie I haven't heard of, it sucked. Probably. But maybe not.
You're absolutely right. Yeah. So Tupac also appeared in the film too with Digital Underground. He's in the movie. It's his film debut. But the film bombed, but that didn't hold Tupac back, who released his debut album, Tupacalypse Now, number 2, PAC.
Very good.
Pretty good stuff. And that was November 1991.
It's so funny how, it's so corny, but
Tupacalypse.
Tupacalypse.
It
feels like it's a podcast joke, this is my work of art.
Which are a low-level joke.
It's also
for the most throwaway jokes you can make, but I'm an artist, I'm a poet. Here's my art.
It's also so
Enjoy.
Good because it's seen as one of the quintessential gangster rap albums, and you're saying, how corny. Tupacalypse. In November 1991, his mother, Afeni, who was suffering from addiction, had no idea what her son was doing and only found out from friends and questioned how she could have been so unaware. And from this, she committed to breaking from her addiction, which she did for good in 1991.
Wow.
And according to biography.com, Tupac and his mother later reconciled and remained close for the rest of his life.
Love to hear that.
So, yeah, she was like, oh, you're doing all this stuff and I'm so out of your life now that I didn't even realize.
Know, yeah.
And that was like a wake-up call. She's like, I want to give up these drugs. Themes covered on Tupac's debut album covered contemporary social issues facing American society, such as racism, police brutality, poverty, gang violence, teenage pregnancy, and drug abuse. It went gold and sold 500,000 copies and has been cited as an influence for many hip-hop artists, but it was not without controversy because the album is classified in the hip-hop subgenre gangster rap, which conveys the culture and values typical of urban gangs and street hustlers. It emerged in the late 1980s, pioneered by artists like Schoolie D of Philadelphia and Ice-T of Los Angeles, who you might know from Law and Order.
Yeah. They got some contusions. That's
It's not a bad.
I thought John Mulaney had a joke about Ice-T.
Okay.
And he said the word contusions. And I'm like, oh, that's a great word.
His name's Tracy.
Ice-T's name is Tracy?
Tracy Lauren Marrow is Ice-T.
Love it.
That's sick.
He still can't, because he still releases music, even though he's obviously done Law and Order for a long, long time.
Yeah,
It's awesome.
I just saw he's touring with his heavy metal group coming
that's
up.
right. Yeah, cool.
Body Count. I saw them in Austin, Texas.
Oh, man, that's
Stay
awesome.
weird.
So they pioneered this subgenre of gangster rap. It took off in California with NWA, including members Dr. Dre, Ice Cube, and Eazy-E, who all also had huge solo careers. But NWA courted controversy for their perceived glorification of drugs and crime, but also because they called out institutional racism within the American police force. I've got to say also some gangster rap songs could also be criticised for misogyny and homophobia, but it was the perceived threat to authority that people in positions of power really seemed to take issue with.
Oh, they didn't have a problem with misogyny? Or
No,
homophobia?
they were more like, whoa,
They were
whoa.
like, hey, don't do to us what we do to you.
Yeah, whoa, we love the status quo and you're coming to rock that. No,
just
thank
keep
you.
talking about women and gays. Hey, get them. We all agree they suck. Stuff like that.
Trying to find common ground there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or they go, hang on. Well, no, this isn't about us. We just don't like the way you're talking about the women and the gays.
That would have been smart. That would have been smarter to do because then you come across better.
Sorry.
No,
I didn't even realise you were talking about us as well.
We have thick skin, but women and gays don't. So you better be nicer, thanks.
Yes. As we all know, women and gays, monoliths.
Yes.
And they all have thin skin. Mm-hmm. Very breakable. You could tear it right apart.
That's right.
Brittle.
Don't though.
Brittle skin.
Brittle, yes. Bones like little birds. Hollow little bones.
Hollow bones. It's sad. It's sad, actually.
It is actually quite sad.
It's actually quite sad.
Yeah.
But not like our thick cop bones.
Big metal bones.
Yeah.
Concrete bones.
We got exoskeletons and intoskeletons.
We got both.
We got double
We
skeletons.
got double skeletons. It's actually really hard for us to move. We're that rigid.
We're rock hard. We're rock hard, and our skin is even harder.
I think for new listeners who were like, what are the Sass twins? I think we're showing you.
Yeah, we're
This
tedious.
is some of our best stuff. Yeah. We're tedious and pretty annoying, and Dave is patiently waiting for us to shut the fuck up. Hey, Dave, do go on.
Well, we know American love and moral outrage. We've covered those before on the show, but this one went all the way to the top.
Not Australia.
Not Australia,
That's what
we
we
don't
can't
do it.
relate to it.
Yeah, we don't do it.
You don't just don't get any moral outrageous here.
No.
Which I find outrageous.
Morally.
Well, it didn't quite go to the top. It went to 1992, the then US Vice President, Dan Quayle, who blasted the recording industry for producing rap music, which he believed led to violence.
Well, can I tell you, quails, birds, thin hollow bones.
bones. Tiny little things they are. You could step on them accidentally.
Yeah.
Easy.
And that's why he was, you offended Dan Quayle.
Oh, shut up, Dan.
Shut up, Dan Quayle.
So he's saying the gangster rap leads to violence.
And his example
we
was,
all know that's actually because of video games.
Yeah, come on, Dan. It's because of Doom.
Yeah,
not because of Dre.
I'm a very aggressive person. I think we can all agree. Because I have played The Sims since I was 11 years old, and I'm now 33.
And you are very violent in that game.
I am very violent.
You are very violent. But so Dan Quayle, he did have an example he pointed to. He said Texas State Trooper Bill Davidson had been murdered after he pulled over a guy called Ronald Ray Howard, who was driving a stolen vehicle while songs from Tupacalypse Now, Tupac's album, played on a tape deck. And Quayle, the vice president, he called on Time Warner Inc., who owned Interscope Records, or had a very big part 50% ownership, to withdraw Tupac's album from stores. He said, "There's absolutely no reason for a record like this to be published. It has no place in our society."
The land of the free. I think it sounds more like a Weird Al name for an album.
Tupacalypse.
Now.
Yep. Tupacalypse.
I think about Tupacalypse, Too Furious, something like that.
Yeah.
But,
And wouldn't it be Tupacalypse?
yeah, maybe it actually is. I haven't heard anyone say it out loud.
Okay.
I was giving them the benefit of the doubt.
Tupacalypse now.
Maybe I'm punching it up a bit.
I don't know. I think I like Tupacalypse.
2 pack of lips.
Yeah, now we're getting a Weird Al territory. Are you writing this down?
Ring. It's Weird Al.
He normally doesn't take suggestions. But this one is so good.
Yeah.
Sound like he's had some fillers injected into his lips and it's gone wrong.
Yeah.
2 pack of lips.
Yeah.
It writes itself.
It's good stuff.
It writes itself. So their vice president's on the phone saying, "Withdraw this shit. This did not happen," and the genre only continued to grow. Almost like when you magnify something in the media so much, kids are like, "Oh, actually, I hadn't heard that before."
Yeah, this is bad. Don't get into this, kids. Okay,
I'm curious. Typically, I only liked show tunes, but I guess I could give it a go.
Similar to when people go, "No, don't give me that nickname. I don't want that."
Please, no.
Okay.
Now it's stuck forever.
West Coast-based artists like Tupac, Snoop Doggy Dogg all took gangster rap and G-Funk, standing for gangster funk, to the mainstream.
Just a bit more bass in that.
Yeah, a bit
bass
funky.
guitar. Boom, boom, boom. That's not funk, you know what I mean?
They're rapping over the Seinfeld thing.
Yeah, I know music. I'm a musician.
That's actually not bass at all. It was played on keys. It's one of the great actuallys. I'm sure if a certain person was here, they would have said it. Not me. I'm doing it ironically.
It's not tedious ever.
No.
2 huge albums included Dr. Dre's The Chronic in 1992 and Snoop Dogg's Doggy Style in 1993.
That's good stuff.
Which also sounds like Weird Al almost, which debuted at number 1 on the Billboard 200, selling 806,000 copies in its first week alone in the United States, which was the record for a debuting artist and the fastest selling hip-hop album ever at the time. So Snoop Dogg, huge.
Massive.
Both albums were released by Death Row Records, founded in 1991 by Dr. Dre, Suge Knight, the DOC, and Dick Griffey. The label signed a distribution deal with Interscope Records, which remember is the label that Tupac was on. But there was so much public controversy around gangster rap that Time Warner, the people that had got the phone call of the president, they severed ties with Interscope by selling its 50% stake back to the founders.
Wow.
Because they didn't want to be associated with it anymore.
Cowards.
But it's so funny, like, oh yeah, this thing that's just taking off, that's good business.
I
This
believe
thing
that,
that's
I think
doing
they
quite
paid
well?
something like they got $200 million back from the founders, and the founders soon sold that 50% stake on for $450 million because other people were like, yeah, did you just see the album sold 800,000 copies in its first week? Why are we getting out now? It's crazy.
Wow.
It's crazy. So Death Row Records became the face of West Coast rap, which in the early 90s was absolutely dominating, selling millions of records. Tupac would later join Death Row Records, and it became even more of a powerhouse.
When are you going to get to Hilltop Hoods?
Yeah. When do they come in?
That's part 3.
Okay.
Bringing it all together. Over on the east coast of America, the birthplace of rap had lost its commercial influence at the forefront of the genre. Before this, Run DMC, Public Enemy, LL Cool J, which I love because it stands for Ladies Love Cool James, A Tribe Called Quest, and the Beastie Boys were all from New York, and they came through in the 80s. Huge guys. It was still very much where the executives operated and had huge cultural influence, but from the early 90s, the charts were dominated by West Coast gangster rap and G-Funk.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, boom, boom, boom.
Up and down.
If you have any music questions, just come to me.
Okay.
I know quite a lot about music, notes and chords, etc. So, yeah.
Chords, notes and chords, whatever.
Chord progressions.
Need to go on.
Genres of music, subgenres of music.
Pauses, rests.
Yes. Yep. Yeah, I know how long they last.
Yeah. The little bit in between tracks, 5 seconds on the album.
Yep. On Spotify, you can like change those settings, so it just sort of automatically
That's
just goes
great.
into. I love that.
That squiggly thing. That squiggly
Yep,
symbol.
squiggly thing. Yep.
People use the shorthand for music. What's that one
The
called?
squiggle.
Oh, are you talking about the treble clef?
Treble clef. Yeah, treble. Yeah, there you go.
Squiggly thing.
Exactly right.
I know. I can draw that if you want.
Yeah.
I can draw that, no problem. So, look at this.
I
That's
actually
one.
think it would make a really cool tattoo.
I don't think so.
Oh, shit. What if I had the...
Do you actually, is that on your zebra tattoo?
No.
No, I don't have a treble clef.
He
You're
has
not that cool.
a keyboard zebra, okay?
Yeah.
That's all it is.
He has a cool tattoo.
I have a joke tattoo, okay? It's a bit of fun.
Look, I'm a gatekeeper on cool, and it's a yes from me.
Says the guy with flame tattoos on his
Yeah.
his leg.
Yeah, that. You want to see my resume? Let me roll up my trouser leg. A little bit like LL Cool J. Was he the one who would roll one up?
I don't know.
I didn't know it was Ladies Love Cool James.
That's an incredible name.
That is
so
really
good.
funny.
Yeah, I think the abbreviation was pretty clever.
He wouldn't have had the career. He wouldn't be on NCIS LA if it wasn't for...
What is so there's some sort of a rap to crime drama pipeline over there.
Can you think of anyone else? Who else is it?
Ice-T?
Us two, but is there a...
Is there a third?
They're the big two.
Well, I didn't know about that one, so...
All right, there you go. Okay. Well,
you just doubled
okay,
the
I doubled
amount
it.
that I knew.
And Tupac,
I'm sure there are more.
Tupac did a lot of acting. I'll just say that.
Really?
Was he in Chicago Hope? No, that was a hospital show.
Damn it. But he was on Water Rats.
Oh.
Hilltop Hoods were on Water Rats.
Yeah.
They probably were.
So, West Coast is now dominating.
Yep.
East Coast is feeling a bit like, oh, this is our thing.
What the fuck?
I heard
Hey, what the fuck?
in one
Look at that.
interview, one of the rappers was genuinely surprised. He was like, oh, I thought rap was just from here. Like, I thought it would just be our thing forever. And then it
They'd be the only
took
people
over
to
it.
do it.
Yeah, and then suddenly West Coast is like selling way more. But that would soon change with the man born Christopher Wallace, but known to history as the Notorious B.I.G, aka Biggie Smalls.
Matt's just showing us pictures of
LL Cool J.
LL Cool J it's always the left by the looks of it. Always the left pant rolled up.
Which is where my flames are. So maybe I start Ladies Love. Could I change my name to LLM
Ladies Love Matt.
J? Ladies like.
Matt James.
Matt James, which is you.
Yeah.
Ladies like
What
Matt
about-
James. Do you want to give yourself like some kind of
SLLMJ. Some
sexy
ladies like.
Oh,
Yeah.
some
Sucksy.
Sucksy ladies.
Okay, that's weird.
Oi, Sass twins, we're on each other's team.
Okay.
Sucksy was very good and very
Sucksy
funny.
was fantastic.
Okay.
That the leg thing really speaks to me of a wardrobe malfunction that happened one day.
Yeah, he's just pretended
had
it was
to
on
go with it
purpose.
forever.
Yeah,
Went
I agree.
into it.
He's like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god.
You didn't want to give yourself an adjective of any kind? Adjective? No. What word am I trying to think of here, please? Like cool.
Yeah.
Is that an
That's
adjective?
an adjective.
Yeah.
Okay, great. I always doubt myself. So I'd probably be bloody just doubtful Jess.
Actually, for me, cool is a verb.
Okay. It's a thing you do.
Just do.
Yeah.
That's the joke there. Anyway,
yeah, but it's something that's the thing. You really try.
yeah. Oh, yeah. So I
You
do.
actively
I
do.
I
cool.
don't attempt. I mean, I attempt. I don't succeed.
That's right.
That's what I meant to say.
That's right.
So I'm not sure if you heard that, Matt, because you were busy Googling images of LL Cool J, but I've just introduced the Notorious B.I.G, a.k.a.
Oh, yeah.
Biggie
Smalls,
Smalls.
a.k.a. Christopher Wallace,
Yes.
who's going to become the face of the East Coast.
And burgers
Oh, there is a burger shop right near here.
called Biggie Smalls.
I'm sure that his family have ownership. Wallace was born in Brooklyn on May 21st, 1972, the only child of Jamaican immigrant parents. His mother, Valletta Wallace, was a preschool teacher who had to work 2 jobs after her husband, Selwyn George Latour, left the family when Biggie was just 2 years old. Christopher then attended George Westinghouse Career and Technical Education High School, which is an incredibly long name for a school.
Yeah, too long.
Where at this time, a lot of future rappers attended, including DMX, Jay-Z, and Busta Rhymes, all within a few years of each other. He was a big kid and got the very clever nickname Big from a young age. He claimed that he started dealing drugs at about the age of 12, and his mother worked long hours and didn't know about his criminal activities. One time, he left crack out to dry in his bedroom, and his mother, thinking it was old mashed potatoes, threw it away.
Old mashed potatoes.
Yeah, she's like, Christopher, why don't you finish your mashed potatoes?
He's got crack in his bedroom,
Yeah, drying out.
and I wasn't allowed to have Skittles. That's
Were you allowed
bullshit.
mashed potato, though?
Yes. sometimes if I'd been good.
He dropped out of school at 17 and got in trouble with the law, and Biography.com writes he received a 5-year probationary sentence in 1989 after being arrested on weapons possession charges. The following year, he was arrested for violating that probation. The year after that, he was charged with dealing cocaine in North Carolina and reportedly spent 9 months in jail whilst waiting to make bail. As a teenager, he began rapping to entertain people in the neighbourhood and recorded a demo tape under the name Biggie Smalls, named after a gang leader from the 1975 movie Let's Do It Again, starring Sidney Poitier and Bill Cosby.
Wow.
Again, I hadn't heard of that movie.
Which, bodes well.
Yeah. According to Biography.com again, he had no serious plans to pursue a career in music. He said, "It was just fun hearing myself on tape over beats."
Yeah, like that's fun.
Yeah, so he's just having a bit of fun. He's actually thinking that the criminal activity is sort of going to be his career path at this stage. The tape was called Microphone Murders and was made with DJ 50 grand.
DJ 50 grand.
To that guy, I say, aim higher, man.
Yeah.
Oh, there's 50 Cent, I suppose. He's much, much better than him mathematically.
But we still know the name 50 Cent, don't we?
Yeah. I don't know DJ 50 grand. But he's who made the mixtape with him. And it found its way to The Source magazine, who had an article that profiled unsigned but promising rappers called Unsigned Hype, and it profiled Biggie in March 1992. That's a cool thing. And I guess, before streaming or whatever, people would just say, it's really great, you'll have to take my word for it. I can't give you an example, but he's really good. So his tape got passed around and got the attention of music executives. It got the attention of music executives, including Sean Combs, a.k.a. Puff Daddy, a.k.a. P. Diddy, a.k.a. Diddy, a.k.a. Puffy, who was working as a talent director at Uptown Records.
Oh, cool.
He's been in the news lately.
Yes. A few of these guys, I got to tell you, have been in the news in the decade since for some pretty awful stuff.
You did mention Bill Cosby, didn't you?
I mentioned Bill Cosby. Also, I believe Dr. Dre has had some things leveled at him as well. Justin Tinsley, the author of It Was All a Dream, Biggie and the World That Made Him, told NPR about Puffy's first reaction when hearing the Biggie demo tape. This is what Justin says. He said, he heard that demo tape and he was like, there's no way this dude is that great at rapping. This has to be heavily edited. So Biggie comes to Puffy's office, and at one point in the sit-down, Puffy was like, hey, I want to hear you rap. And Biggie raps, and he blows Puffy's mind away. And he's like, oh my God, it was real. You can't edit live.
Oh my God.
That's incredible. He told Biggie right there on the spot that he could get him a record deal, and Biggie was interested, but also dubious, and told him that until he actually had a contract to sign, he'd have to keep hustling and basically keep selling drugs to get by. Because that was his way of paying the bills. That was his business. And he went back to North Carolina to pick up some drugs, and Puffy called him pissed off and basically told him, what the hell are you doing down there? I told you I was going to get you a contract. You should come back to New York right now. And Biggie sort of tooted and froed about going back. And Justin Tinsley again told NPR, ultimately, he decided to get on a bus and head back to New York. And not 4 or 5 hours later, the police raided the house, the trap house that Biggie lived in, and arrested everybody and took them to jail, and they all did prison time. So that's how close we were to never hearing the Notorious B.I.G. or the name Biggie Smalls, the rapper.
Whoa.
Sort of one of those sliding doors moments.
Wow.
We're so lucky that drug trafficker got on a bus. Isn't that a funny thing? Like, wow.
I know. Imagine
he nearly got caught for a crime, but he didn't.
But he did it. And
he
now
got away with it. Whoa.
And we all benefit.
We all benefit from it. We
Well,
can get
Dave-
burgers anytime.
Dave, in the last couple of weeks,
Yes.
now that he's
Now
got
that
his head
he's-
around the subculture.
He's a hip hop boy.
Yeah, absolutely. Thinking of putting out my own mixtape.
Oh, yeah, great.
Yeah. Just for fun. Whether DJ 75 grand.
What would you call it?
Inflation is hit. What would I call it?
What about DJ 1 Million?
Oh, DJ 1 Million's pretty good.
That's pretty cool.
I think
A
I'd
bit
call
showy. I don't think that's what hip-hop's about.
I think like my rap name would have something to do with Cobra.
Do you reckon?
Maybe.
Okay. And you're committing to that.
Yeah, I'm sure Cobra already exists, but something to do with Cobra.
Little Cobra.
Lil Cobra.
Yeah, that'd be right.
ASAP Cobra.
ASAP Lil Cobra.
Mm.
What about medium Cobra? I
Well,
feel like Lil...
Mid Cobra.
you can't lie to people. And you come out on stage and they're like, what the fuck?
Fuck, this isn't mid.
He's quite little. He should be Lil Cobra.
Yeah, okay, I'll be Lil Cobra.
Sorry. Well, you got to hit the gym and really get some roids and buff yourself out a little.
I'm typing in Cobra rapper into Google now. Who is Cobra the rapper? Great question. Cobra rapper official on YouTube. Okay, what about
There has to be a rap name generator, and you know that's coming out at the Patreon section.
Oh, there's Lil Cobra with a K on YouTube, but I'm a C. I'm a big C.
Okay, you've distracted yourself here.
Okay, sorry.
Do go on.
So, he returned to New York. He dodged being arrested to sign with Puffy. Puffy had started as an unpaid intern and worked his way up. But then he had a falling out with Uptown Records and was fired, so he started his own record company, Bad Boy Records.
Hell yeah.
He was trying to tell us all along.
I'm a bad boy. And he took Biggie Smalls with him because he was about to sign him to Uptown, and he took him to his own new label, who soon changed his name officially to the Notorious B.I.G. after finding out someone else had already called themselves Biggie Smalls, and there was a bit of a lawsuit. But people continued to call him Biggie his whole life.
Yeah, right.
That's what most people called him. In the lead up to his debut album, Biggie met Tupac for the first time. By this time, Tupac had released his second album and starred in a few feature films. So he'd done quite a bit of acting. He was already well known, and his star was only on the rise. Their encounter, detailed in Ben Westhoff's book Original Gangsters, took place at a party held by an LA drug dealer. The book says they ate, drank, and smoked together, and Tupac, already a successful recording artist, gifted Biggie, then unknown outside of New York, a bottle of Hennessy, the ultimate sign of respect.
Very nice.
So the two were friends, and Biggie would then crash at Tupac's place whenever he was on the West Coast. And in 1993, the two even recorded a song together called Running from the Police, although it wasn't released until 1995. Tupac mentored Biggie when the two met up, and according to biography.com, at one point Biggie even asked if Tupac would become his manager. Tupac apparently said, "Nah, stay with Puff. He'll make you a star." And he was right, because the first album, released by the Puffy-owned new record label Bad Boy Records, was the debut album of the Notorious B.I.G. called Ready to Die. It was released on September the 13th, 1994, the same day President Clinton signed the Violent Crime Control and Law Enforcement Act. No relation. Justin Tinsley, the author of the book that details the rapper's life, again told NPR that the Ready to Die album was, quote, basically saying, okay, we understand how Washington and Congress and so many other levels of government view these inner city kids, but I'm going to give you the perspective of being an inner city kid. These are the things we're doing to try to survive. And he was only 22 when the album came out. And I listened to a lot of the albums I talk about whilst researching this. During this section of the report, I was listening to Ready to Die, and I really enjoyed it, I got to say. But at one stage, the lyrics just hit me. You know when you're writing something and it's just background music, and then I sort of snapped back to reality, and I just heard the lyrics from the song One More Chance, and I heard Biggie say, I got the cleanest, meanest penis. You never seen this stroke of genius. And it was just really funny to see.
Really good to refer to your penis as genius.
Yeah.
But I have it here, it's clean. And
it's clean and very intelligent. My dick is actually so smart.
Man, I love that.
I got a genius dick.
But
I really
you did
love
say it came up through poetry, so that makes
sense.
No, that was
That was
Tupac.
Tupac.
Oh, who's this?
This is Biggie.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure about the state of Tupac's penis.
We don't know.
But it's smart, clean,
we just don't know.
Well, we don't know. We know something about it. Humble.
Yeah.
That's right.
Humble bean.
When you said snap back to reality, I thought you were about to go White Rabbit on us.
That's how ingrained hip-hop has become in my soul this week.
That's right.
You're quoting some of the big ones.
Yeah. So that just made me laugh so much, because there's some serious songs about, his life, and he's famed as a good storyteller, but then I just snapped back to, I got the cleanest, meanest penis, and I started laughing out loud. And then this song is followed by a 90-second interlude called Fuck Me, in brackets interlude, which is just a simulated audio of Biggie having sex.
Simulated.
I assume.
Like AI.
I assume. I don't know.
Luckily for us, the cameras were rolling.
It could have just been the original sex tape before cameras.
Yeah. The wireless, you get the crackling on there. Oh, yes, darling, yes. That's the spot. Uh-huh. Ooh. Yes. A little lower. A little lower. Yes. That's it.
The best part about Matt's act out, which you can't see, is that he's doing like the everything's okay symbol with his right hand. Like, keep it going. That's okay. That's okay.
I'm holding a little cigarette.
Oh, that's your cigarette.
Yes. Yes. That's the spot. That's the ticket. Clean is such a funny thing to brag about. Your penis.
Yeah.
I got the cleanest. That's the thing that made me laugh so much.
And it's also not very nice.
But it is a genius.
But it's so clean and it's so smart.
So smart and clean.
Honestly, the rest of the lyrics are about how big his penis is and how it will do internal damage to anyone he's having sex with.
Jesus
It sounds
Christ.
painful. It honestly sounds very painful.
Well, that's mean. That's
But
where the meanness
That's
comes
mean.
in.
Clean.
But at least you know it's clean.
Yeah.
So, that's a risk you take.
Yeah.
So if it does bust you open, at least it's not going to infect you.
No infection.
No infection. Clean. Clean as a whistle.
Clean as a whistle. Yes, that's right. Now we're whistling Dixie. Is that any? That's an old person thing.
So that's his debut album. In the run-up to Ready to Die's release, Biggie married the R&B singer Faith Evans, who was his label mate on Bad Boy Records. That was August 4, 1994. They wed just days after meeting at a photo shoot and would have a son in 1996.
They got married within a few days.
Yeah.
Love that. When you know, you know. I've always said that.
And if you don't know, now you know.
Now you know.
That's Biggie. Biggie was already a father, having had a daughter in 1993. They were the two kids he had. His song Juicy, which is one of his bigger songs, opens with him speaking. This is on the debut album. He says, "Yeah, this album is dedicated to all the teachers that told me I'd never amount to nothing. To all the people that lived above the buildings that I was hustling in front of, called the police on me when I was just trying to make some money to feed my daughter. Now here's my clean penis."
Here's my clean genius peen.
No, that just shows that he rapped about some quite serious stuff as well. But the thing that stuck with me was how clean his peen was.
Yeah. And that's what I think we want people to take away from this episode.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's what you don't get on other podcasts. Other people are like, I just want to hear about the history of hip hop. And we're like,
Exactly.
sure, but do you want to hear about the dicks of hip hop?
Exactly. Other people are talking about his incredible flow, his storytelling abilities. How
Well, he does have a beautiful flow from a very clean penis.
Yeah.
We focus on
Strong,
pain.
firm, hits the back of the bowl.
Yeah, every time. That's a hydrated man with a clean genius penis.
Great flow, great stream.
Yeah.
But there's a bit of doth protest too much about as well. How
Yeah.
clean is this peen?
Yeah, come on, man.
And Dave
Come
said the
on,
rest of the
mate.
song is about how big it is. So it's
Yeah.
like,
Like,
okay.
all about
It's a little dirty peen.
He's got a tiny little gross
You've heard of Old
dick.
Dirty Bastard. These are Little Dirty Pen. The album was a huge success, dominating the charts in 1995 and went multi-times platinum in the US. Biggie was one of the genre's biggest names of the day and Bad Boy's premier star and the commercial face of the rising East Coast hip-hop scene. So they were back. It's worth noting, I've got to say, that other East Coast rappers had acclaim and cultural influence at the same time. Of course they did. Including 1993's Enter the Wu-Tang, 36 Chambers, the Wu-Tang's first album, and Nas's 1994 album, Illmatic. They're both seen as two of the best ever. Similar time, but Biggie's success on the music charts and rise to the mainstream from nowhere drew more attention to New York at the time of West Coast hip-hop's dominance.
Yeah.
Before that, Snoop's number one. Dr. Dre's number one.
Okay, he's bringing it back.
Exactly, back to the East Coast. And they were very proud because that's where hip-hop and rap started. According to...
Enter the Wu-Tang was huge, Dave. You've skipped over it there and don't want to pay it its dues. And also, I think
it's seen as one of the best ever rap
looks like
albums.
Method Man also played a cop at one point. I tried to find that
there
out
you go.
before.
Method Man.
Method Man from
He
Wu-Tang.
also is one of the few featured rappers on Biggie's debut albums. He's friends with Method Man. And it was very big and very influential. It's still seen, like I say, as one of the best ever. But Biggie was the biggest. He was the biggest. According to AllMusic editor Steve Huey, the success of his 1994 debut, quote, reinvented East Coast rap for the gangster age and turned the Notorious B.I.G. into a hip-hop sensation. The first major star the East Coast had produced since the rise of Dr. Dre's West Coast G-Funk. And by the end of the year, Biggie was the biggest selling solo male artist on the Billboard charts, not only in hip-hop, but in pop and R&B too. Very big. And he used his success to mentor others and put together and mentored the group Junior Mafia, consisting of, among many others, Lil Cease and Lil Kim, who went on to have a hugely successful solo career. In 1995, he also became one of the only hip-hop artists to collaborate with Michael Jackson on the song This Time Around. There you go.
Wow.
So that's all happening on the East Coast.
It sounds like there's just two great scenes, separate from each other, little intermingling, but both just doing great stuff.
Doing great work. Exactly right.
It sounds great.
It does sound really good.
So far, so good. Now, since the West Coast gangster rap entered the fold at the end of the 80s, start of the 90s, there was a bit of a rivalry going on between the two coasts, I'm sorry to say. In 1991...
Friendly rivalry.
What, like Sydney, Melbourne?
Yes.
Funny. But really only Melbourne give a shit about it. Sydney doesn't care.
Sydney's like, I don't think about you at all.
Yeah, and Melbourne's like, oh, you think you're so much better than me?
I don't think Melbourne does either. But maybe I do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Every day. I wake up, I look at a picture of Sydney on my wall and I say, fuck you.
Fuck you, Sydney.
Fuck you, Sydney, and your beautiful weather.
I think it'd be more likely to be Sydney versus Perth.
Do you reckon?
East versus West.
Sure. I don't think anybody thinks of Perth.
Really? I think...
Do you think of Perth?
Well, you know, when I'm going there.
Sure.
Yeah, for the 5 minutes before you land.
Yeah,
And then 5 minutes after you take off.
Perth.
Yeah, that
Go
was
on.
nice.
Yeah.
Or was
It's
it? I don't
lovely,
know.
but it is so far away. It's so
forgotten.
far away.
But yeah, I think we should get a beef going between Perth and Sydney.
Yep.
Well, this is how you get a beef going. In 1991, Bronx rapper Tim Dog released a song called Fuck Compton. Compton, of course, being part of the West Coast. And he criticised the whole West Coast hip-hop scene, including the Compton-based group NWA and its members, specifically Eazy-E and Dr. Dre. Some credit this song with igniting the East Coast-West Coast rivalry of the 1990s.
Well, they take their music very seriously, don't they?
They take a lot of this very seriously.
Wow.
It kicked off a series of tit-for-tat diss songs in response. Dr. Dre and Snoop Doggy Dogg went back to Tim Dog. It was Snoop Dogg versus Tim Dog. There was also a duo called The Dog Pound on the West Coast. Lots of dogs barking. Know what I'm saying?
Who let those dogs out?
Who?
Woof, 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 woof. That's what I was wondering.
So there is that sort of tension, but you know, they're writing diss tracks, but they like a lot of these rivalries pop up like this, and then often they end up making up later. But until 1994, Tupac and Biggie, two of the biggest rappers in each scene, were friends. So that was all good. But this all changed
What?
in 1994
No.
with another incident that could be pointed to as igniting the rivalry, or at the very least, pouring kerosene on the flames.
This makes sense because in '94, the West Coast Eagles played Geelong in the grand final.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
East versus West.
And
Yeah.
who won that time?
West. West is best. Eagles were a dominant team.
What,
Is that
Southeast isn't good? Jeez Louise.
So I think that'd
What
be
a way to
interesting.
find out.
Yeah. Yep. But so I assume that's probably how this goes down as well.
It was all related.
Yeah.
Why don't we start a feud with Queensland or something?
Oh, north-south.
Yeah, that could be fun. Or you go South Australia, Northern Territory or something. They're right next to each other too.
Yeah, I think that's a good one.
That's fun.
Yeah, and they've got south and north are in the names.
And they've already got the border, so that's where they could meet to fight.
Yeah, that's true.
Spit at each other over
Yeah.
the border.
Yeah.
No,
Whereas
fuck you.
we'd have to meet Queensland and New South Wales.
Yeah, and we don't want to go there.
I think they've already got the rivalry. They're the real. That's the
yeah.
big rivalry. Queensland, New South Wales.
We're trying to get the tri-state area going, though.
Oh, that's
Ooh,
cool. We
yeah.
get involved in that. Well, I mean, Victoria versus Queensland. It could be the battle for the crown or something. You know, got the two queen names.
Oh, that's true. That's good.
But I think the best rivalries are normally. This is why it's a bit different. Are normally the two places right next to each other.
Yeah, these guys
The
are really
local
spit out.
derbies or derbies.
Yeah.
But this is like you know, what is the heartland in the middle doing?
Yeah.
What are they? Chop
What are
liver?
what are they thinking about it all?
They're like watching it going, what about us?
Can you guys stop fighting over the top of us, please?
Yeah, get us
Fuck off.
involved.
Yeah.
Oh.
What about some Nebraskan rappers?
Yes.
Well, I think in the South, they were a bit like, what about us? I think Outkast, they won an award one year around this time, and they sort of got booed a bit, and they were like, what the fuck are you talking about? Southside's cool.
Yeah, which it has become like very powerful.
Yeah. But at the time, like I said, Biggie, Tupac, they're cool. Now, Shakur had been arrested many times, according to biography.com. In October 1993, Tupac shot and wounded two white off-duty cops in Atlanta, one in the abdomen, and one in the buttocks
Why did he do that?
after an altercation.
Okay. I still don't think it's good. It felt really out of nowhere.
So he was arrested. However, the charges were dropped after it emerged in court that the policeman had been drinking, had initiated the incident, and that one of the officers had threatened Tupac with a stolen gun.
Just still siding with the cops there.
I never sided with the cops. I just thought it was a bit out of nowhere.
They
That's
just
all.
sort of had to sort of walk it back
Yeah.
a bit. They're like, okay, sorry about that.
Which is, I'm more...
Are you surprised? I was too.
Well, yeah, just like the fact that it didn't get covered up and it was like, well, bad luck.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same thing with his mum. When she
Yeah.
went up against
You're
the
like,
FBI
oh my God.
and
Yeah.
proved that they'd...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It actually
the
works.
system works.
It actually
sometimes.
works. I was surprised, pleasantly surprised, of course. He was jailed separately in 1994 for 15 days for assaulting a movie director, Alan Hughes, who had fired him from the set of Menace to Society, 2 being Roman numerals, for being disruptive. So he had been to jail. And for this next bit, I do have to say there's a sexual assault warning for this next part of the report. I won't go into a lot of detail, but skip ahead if you don't want to hear that. Later that year in 1994, Tupac was arrested for sexual offences after he and a group of men were accused of sexually assaulting a woman in a New York hotel. He went to trial and Shakur was convicted of first-degree sexual abuse in his hotel room. He later said that he wasn't involved in the assault, but he also didn't stop it either.
Jesus.
So very grim stuff. And he was convicted. But before the conviction, he was back in New York to face the trial. So he's not at home. He's in East Coast territory, and he was desperate for money at this point as his legal fees were mounting. And on November the 30th, he agreed to record a verse with Little Sean at Quad Studios in Manhattan. As he was arriving at the studio, members of Junior Mafia, a group affiliated with Bad Boy and the one that Biggie had put together, they spotted Tupac and shouted friendly greetings to him as he arrived. At this stage, they're all on good terms, like, hey, how you doing? They're sort of waving at him. Lil Cease from Junior Mafia ran down to the lobby to meet Tupac, but as Tupac entered the lobby, he was confronted by 3 gunmen who attempted to rob him.
What?
They ordered him onto the floor, and again, there's conflicting reports. Some say Pac paused and he later told the rapper Spice One that he grabbed one of the robbers' guns, but what we do know is that Tupac was shot 5 times as they were attempting to rob him. As he was removed from the building by an ambulance stretcher, he gave the finger to the East Coast rappers who were watching on. Shakur openly accused Biggie, his label Bad Boy Records, and Sean Puffy Coombs of having prior knowledge of the shooting, an accusation they vehemently denied. But in his mind, they had betrayed him and set him up
Shit.
because he was in their studio and he got shot there. He's like, you at least had knowledge that people were going to rob me. And from here on, it was all-out war with the East Coast.
How are you supposed to give someone your wallet if you're shot 5 times? Come on. That's
Great
just
question.
bad robbing.
Exactly. It's difficult, especially if you get shot in the butt.
Yeah, and you're like, right, great, you just shot my wallet.
You shot my wallet. That credit card's useless.
That cash has all got a hole in it.
Yeah.
Can't use that.
But it'd be easy to hold on to. You just put a string through it. You can wear it around your neck
Oh,
now.
that's good.
That would actually be very cool.
Little
too.
neck wallet.
Yeah. Very stylish.
Never thought about doing that. Maybe you could do that just with a small pinprick and put some fishing
Oh,
wire
yeah,
through
because it
there.
doesn't have to be a big hole, does
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, you probably don't have to shoot a hole through it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could use a hole punch.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, great. Okay, this is good.
Something to think about.
Stick around for
We're learning.
the Do Go On spring line of new accessories. But it costs less than the amount of notes on there, so we are not doing
Comes
well.
with free money. We'll give you $5 $20 bills to get you started. Your collection.
In your choice of denomination.
Yeah, that's right.
No, what currency?
Choose
Denomination.
choose your 5 favourite notes. You can have 5 100s, 5 5s. It's up to you.
Yeah. Whatever your colour you want
Exactly.
that goes with your outfit.
Oh, green. You want 100s? Okay, sure.
Fantastic, good
$500.
choice.
Here you go.
Oh, it's annoying because my favourite ones are the 10s. That's a
That's
blue-green. But I feel like I'll wear green. I'll go the 100s.
Well,
You get
red's
100?
not in your palette, so you can't
No.
do 20s.
No.
Lobsters.
You could maybe do the yellow. No, that'll wash you out.
I quite like purple, so I think I'm going to get 5 5s, please.
Yeah, I think that's a good call.
5 5s for me. Thank you.
I will have whatever colour the $1,000 note is. I've never seen one, but I assume.
Completely clear. Hard to see.
So I'm going nude because it has to match.
Oh,
Yeah. You've just got a bit of fishing wire around your neck. Classy.
Beautiful.
Tupac shot 5 times, but he recovered from his gunshot wounds.
Wow.
And going against doctors' advice, he checked out of the hospital the next day.
No. Oh,
5
no.
bullet wounds.
No, that's a no from me.
That's bad. That's not a good idea. That same day after being shot, he was convicted of the sexual abuse charges. His pre-sentencing bail was set at a staggering $3 million, which he couldn't afford, so he surrendered himself to authorities. On February, so he had to be in jail awaiting sentence. Couldn't be bailed.
And he just got shot.
And he'd been shot 5 times. Mm-hmm. I think he went to Rikers Island, the Notorious prison, and went to the hospital part of the medical ward at first because
he just got shot 5 times. Yeah.
On February 7, 1995, he was sentenced to 18 months to 4.5 years prison at Rikers Island. At the time, Biggie was reportedly distressed that Tupac thought he had something to do with the attack at Quad Studios, and he wanted to smooth things over with his West Coast counterpart and his friend.
Yeah.
But being in prison, it was hard for him to visit, and some have said that the inability to clear the air allowed Tupac's bitterness and resentment to fester whilst he was in prison.
Yeah, and you can't write a letter. Write a fucking letter.
It could have hidden a bottle of Hennessy in a cake.
Yes.
And we're going, it's all good.
It's all the sign of respect.
Yeah.
But you didn't.
Hey, does Heavy D and the Boys play a role in this at all? I just want to say that name. I think it's one of the great band names.
Very
Heavy
good.
D and
Heavy
the
D
Boys.
and the Boys.
It's a heavy D, but is it a clean D?
It's not clean and it's not smart, but it is heavy.
Heavy D and the Boys. I don't know.
And heavy, just because it's heavy, it doesn't actually have anything to do with the size. It's still relatively small, but it is dense. And that's odd that you should have that looked at.
Looks like he was born in Jamaica, grew up in America. It looks like he grew up in New York.
Okay. What kind of time we talking?
Late 80s.
Okay.
Oh, here we go. While still an artist at Uptown Records.
Okay.
Myers, which is Heavy D's real name, was instrumental in convincing Andre Harrell, the founder, to originally hire Sean Diddy Coombs for his first music gig as an intern.
Wow. Whoa. So it's all his fault.
So Heavy D was the first domino to fall. That's what the D stands for. Heavy domino?
Whoa.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
When a heavy domino falls, I guess it would have a similar effect to other dominoes.
Yeah, just knocking over other dominoes.
Yeah.
Maybe at a
slightly
higher
quicker.
velocity.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry to say that Heavy D died of a blood clot in his leg in 2011.
Oh, that sucks.
Oh my gosh, and he was only 44. Heavy D.
What about the Boys?
I think the boys are still together.
Okay, great.
I assume.
Yeah.
I love it. So many great names. I love them.
Yeah, there are some really fun names.
Warren G. Love that.
Of all the great names. We're saying, we agree. There are some really good hip-hop names.
Somehow plucked out the blandest of them all.
Because it's so good. Because Warren, obviously, that's a very uncool name. You put the G on the end? Okay, I'm listening, Warren.
But if somebody's name was Warren Graham, you wouldn't be like, fuck yeah, that's
exactly.
cool.
He's transformed it.
So just the G. I think you just think the letter G is cool.
No, I just think that, he's put so much spice on the most boring name.
Dave, close your eyes.
Okay, here we go.
Blank out your mind. What's the coolest letter?
X.
Oh, X can give you.
He's got me.
Damn X.
Okay.
Exhibit.
What do you think of Warren X?
That sounds cool too, actually.
Cool too.
Warren Zevon. Warren Z.
Warren Z?
Warren Z.
Say Warren Z's no good, but
You're
Warren
a bit
Z
Warren
sounds
Z?
good.
I feel a little Warren-y today.
Yeah, a bit off.
Sorry, guys.
I just wanted to say
a bit out of sorts. I'm a bit Warren-y.
That's just one of my favourites is Warren G.
Yeah, that's fine.
It appeals to me.
You're just wrong.
Also, I like Kenny G as well, so maybe it is G.
It's G. You like the letter G.
The G, yeah. You like G Flip?
G Flip, I like G Unit.
You like G Funk?
I love G Funk.
Yeah.
From this week.
Do you like G Long?
Ooh.
Of course.
When they go up against West Coast.
Well, they went down in the big battle.
The big rivalry.
Of 94.
My
They
gosh.
played in 92 as well.
Whoa, see, it is a rivalry. But I mean, in 93, you got a year off.
They got a year off. Neither of them made the grand final that year.
Great. Out of respect.
That was the year of the Baby Bombers.
I zoned out.
Yeah, it's really boring
I'm back
stuff.
now. Hello.
Okay, so Tupac's in jail. Biggie's like, oh shit, he thinks I did this. Or at least that's what he's publicly saying. It also didn't help, though, that Biggie released a track in 1995, a few months later, called Who Shot Ya?
Yeah, and the verse went something like, hey, I set up the hit. It was me, I did it. I'll never admit it. Stuff like that.
Yeah, 5 times. All the bullets in ya.
Jeez, you are in this subculture.
I'll eat Tupac for dinner. so...
Somehow, we've never been whiter.
I know.
It's beautiful.
We are going into winter. Like, we're coming off summer, autumn. This should be probably, if anything, I mean, just literally.
Yeah.
It's about to get whiter.
Jesus
is what I'm
Christ.
saying.
You're gonna have
Glad
to
you're not doing this episode mid-winter.
Mid-August.
You're going to have to get some self-tan because you are not going to show up on cameras. You're going to be see-through. I don't want to see your guts.
I've been increasingly sun-smart as well, so my
God.
paleness has increased over time.
Mm-hmm.
I've literally had people stare at me like and sort of do the thing where you have to sort of cover your eyes a little bit. Like there's a glare off me if I'm shined up from the water.
Wait,
How much would I have to pay you to get a spray tan?
Oh, this is the kind of thing I
pay for
want to
the spray
start.
tan.
This
Great.
is what I want our YouTube channel to be. Like you going, Dave, this week, Jess gets to make Dave do anything. And you make him do a spray tan.
Spray tan, but obviously like a...
I could get him to do anything.
Basically, what I want to make our YouTube channel like an FM radio station from the 90s.
Yeah, that's right. We want to do pranks.
Yeah.
It's just
I
a lot of
gotcha
me going,
calls.
oh, you boys.
I put a snake in Matt's car! He was terrified!
Let's film him get into his car.
Oh, what a fucking loser!
We say, hey, Matt, why don't you just get in your car for a sec, mate? And he's like, why are the cameras on? I'm like, no, you just get in your car, mate. Aren't you heading home
Yeah.
for the day?
Yeah, just get in.
Get in
Why
the
are you
car.
holding that anti-venom? No reason.
Oh, we're just stopping for lunch. It's only 1 o'clock. We have more to do. No, you just wanted to get in your car, I think.
No, get in. And they're calling now. What's the weirdest thing you've ever found in your car?
Yeah, so that's what I want it to be.
Yeah. Well, we all have dreams.
Dave, can you quickly tell the listeners about what happened to your dad when he was travelling based on his pigment?
Oh, we were talking about off air before. A few times my dad's been travelling through Southeast Asia, and my mum's noticed that people quite like to take photos of him because he's a formerly ginger man. Hair's now gone white, but he has a very red complexion, and or pink. And there's something I say. They point out his pink skin and his white hair, a combination that they don't see as often on their streets, and they ask for a photo. So cute to imagine.
I think he'd like that.
He's a very friendly guy.
He's very
absolutely.
friendly.
Yeah.
I think he'd kind of enjoy the attention a
Yeah.
little bit.
And he probably says to him, oh, yeah, great, I'm Dave's dad.
That's right. My dad's always in the YouTube comment section telling everyone he's my dad. And I'm so... it's nice that he's proud of me. And I'm proud of you too, Dad.
That's not what he's saying. He's just saying he's your dad.
Yeah, he never...
He's not saying, I'm proud of you, son. He's just like, I think the tone's actually, God, I feel bad for me. I'm Dave's dad.
Yeah, you are really
Yeah.
reading between the lines, Dave.
Yeah.
Gee.
That's an interesting way to look at it, Dave.
Gee whiz. That's a phrase you probably like.
Gee whiz.
Gee whiz.
Gee willikers.
Warren Gee whiz. That's
Oh.
pretty good.
Okay.
Gee whiz is pretty good.
That's actually a good one.
Yeah, gee whiz would be great. Save it for the game later.
Oh, yeah, we're going to have to come up with a few rap names, though. We'll be doing that. Okay, so in the story... Tupac shot 5 times. Biggie, a couple of months later, releases Who Shot Ya? And Tupac's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, look fair.
The song featured Puffy as well, who's sort of, the architect of the record label, and they contended it was written and recorded well before Tupac had been shot.
Well, then, but like...
You're still releasing it.
Have the self-awareness to go, that
Yes.
doesn't sound good if we put that out now.
Exactly. And I actually believe them that it was because, and people I've seen in interviews, they testify, they're like, back in the day, it wasn't like with Spotify now where you digitally record everything and you upload it straight away. Like there's quite a bit of release stuff that goes on behind the scenes. So like it may have been recorded months before, but Tupac absolutely thought it was them taunting him whilst in prison, further inflaming tensions. And like you're saying, people actually said to Biggie, surely you would have known that this is not a good look after you're a guy who's accusing you of shooting him and it's just been shot 5 times. It did absolutely further inflame tensions. Tupac wasn't able to record music whilst jailed, but he had already recorded his next album, Me Against the World, which was released a month after Who Shot Ya in March 1995. It was a huge success and debuted at number 1 on the Billboard 200, holding the top spot for 4 consecutive weeks. And whilst he was in prison, the album overtook Bruce Springsteen's greatest hits as the best-selling album of the year in the United States at the time. Many describe it as the rapper's magnum opus, and it's in the conversation for the greatest rap album of all time.
Wow.
Whilst in prison, this really surprised me. Jim Carrey began writing letters to Tupac after hearing that he was the rapper's favourite actor. The two later became close friends in real life.
Where was Jim Carrey's career at this point? Was he making movies?
94 was Ace Ventura, Pet Detective,
Whoa.
The Mask, and Dumb and Dumber.
Jesus.
Do not go in there.
That's exactly the line I was thinking
And then
of.
95 was Batman Forever and Ace Ventura, When Nature Calls.
Wow.
So
Do you remember how often Dave was saying that after we watched Ace Ventura?
He did love that.
Do not go in there.
We watched it when we were touring the UK, I think.
Yeah.
And he was, sharing a place, and he was stinking it up.
He was ripping those
He
toilets
just go,
apart.
one room, whatever room he just left, do not go in there.
and Jess would be like, that's my bedroom.
That was-
Why were you in my room?
I just had to fart somewhere quiet.
I needed somewhere quiet to
I needed to
fart.
concentrate.
Yeah.
Don't distract me. I'm trying to get this done.
I didn't want to do it in my room.
Too noisy in there.
Crazy. Oh my God, so much going on. I get overstimulated in there.
I can't fart unless I'm in a quiet space.
Jess's place is my happy place.
That's why it always smells at my house when Dave comes over. Just letting it rip.
Things took a turn publicly at the 1995 Source Awards in New York.
How was sauce spelled?
As soon as I said it out loud, I was like, this sounds ridiculous. Source, Source being an American hip-hop and entertainment website. It would be so funny if the Rivalry really took off as they were like giving some sort of ketchup award or something.
What's your favourite condiment? Vote now.
Mine's mayonnaise! On fries? What the fuck?
Ranch. They love ranch over there.
Wow.
They love ranch.
Can we
What
get-
is ranch?
I don't know.
I don't
and
know,
I
but
can't wait to find
I want
out.
it for lunch.
Ranch.
Ranch.
Do you have any ranch? And a glass of water.
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 So both East and West were at these hip-hop awards when Suge Knight, the co-founder of Death Row Records, accepted the award for Motion Picture Soundtrack of the Year for Above the Rim that he'd produced. Mm-hmm. He said, accepting the award, any artist out there want to be an artist and want to stay a star and don't want to have to worry about the executive producer trying to be all in the video, all on the record, dancing, come to Death Row. And this was a very public shot at Puffy, who at the time was yet to release his own album, but would appear in the videos for the artists he signed and produced for his Bad Boy Records.
I did find that kind of interesting that he's like, I didn't realize his background was like a talent manager, exec type thing. So it's pretty funny that he's featuring on stuff and he's just there in the video.
In the background, like, yeah, I'm here. I think he would also like produce music, but I did hear him say he didn't know how to play any instruments, so he would sort of be like, do a bit more of that. Do a bit more of that. And he was
he just had an ear for it.
He was very successful in the 90s, so I can't really argue with it. But he was in the video showing off, and Suge Knight was like, if you don't want to hang out with that kind of energy, come hang out with us. And the hometown East Coast crowd did not like this, him sort of bagging Puffy, and started jeering and booing Suge Knight as he left the stage. From Wiki Now, director John Singleton, one of the presenters for the next award, Producer of the Year, attempted to placate the murmuring and jeering crowd, declaring, "We got to kill all this East Coast, West Coast, South, Midwest dissension in rap." But to no avail, because the West Coast Dr. Dre was announced as the winner of Producer of the Year, and he was joined on stage by Snoop Dogg. Dre is smiling and he just says, "West Coast, baby." He's sort of happy to be there. But the audience's hostility prompted Snoop to grab the mic, and he sort of starts running around the stage, and he launched into a furious, expletive-laden tirade. You can see it on YouTube, and it's actually hilarious because Snoop can't quite believe that they're booing him. He angrily says, wait. The East Coast don't love Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg? The East Coast ain't got no love for Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg and Death Row? Y'all don't love us? Y'all don't love us? And then he starts telling them to go fuck themselves, and it's all beeped out. But it's just so funny. He's like, y'all don't love us? Like the opposite of Sally Field, and they love me. He's like, he can't believe they don't. Y'all don't got no love for Snoop Dogg? It's very funny.
Wow.
And Dre, who actually won the award, it's his moment, grabs the mic back and says, "We're trying to make music for everybody to enjoy." Then he gives a shout out to Suge Knight and Death Row, and then they leave. Puffy tried to calm the situation later on in the night when presenting Solo Artist of the Year. He announced, "Contrary to what other people may feel, I would like to say that I'm very proud of Dr. Dre, of Death Row, and Suge Knight for their accomplishments. And all this East and West, that needs to stop. So give it up for everybody from the East and West that won tonight. One love. But sadly, the appeal would very much fall on deaf ears and things would get a whole lot worse before they got any better.
Oh.
And that is where we're going to leave today's report. That's right. This is a rare 2-part episode.
Oh.
Oh my gosh.
You're leaving us on a cliffhanger.
It is a cliffhanger. What will happen next? We'll find out next week.
Holy moly. But I mean, at this point, everything's gone great. So I think it's going to be more of the same. I'm looking forward to hearing what Tupac does into middle age.
And what he had for lunch today?
Yeah.
Probably ranch.
Ranch.
They like
and
ranch.
water. They love
Americans love ranch.
Bud Light. You know, fun stuff like that.
Oregano.
A beautiful country. Number one.
Big fan. Hopefully we can be there soon.
You know, like Bud Light and stuff, that's not referring to alcohol
calories.
content. It's calories. I didn't know this. It's not like when we have a light beer here, which is much lower percentage alcohol. It's actually calories. So it's still a full-strength beer. Is that correct?
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. I assumed that they were really getting into, 2%, 3% beer.
Could
But it's just
also
cows.
you could also argue it's referencing flavor level,
Light on taste.
so you can slam it down fast.
Oh, well, that's it so far. We'll come back next week with
Wow.
part 2, and I'm afraid things are only just beginning.
Oh, my God.
Dave, I'm tantalized.
Are you?
Am I using that word right?
I think so.
Yes.
I'm enchanted.
Ooh.
I'm on tenterhooks.
Yes.
Wow, tent hooks?
Tent hooks.
He's on tent hooks.
Wow, that's not a good thing.
You're holding me down with tent hooks.
Yes.
And I'm going to be pegged here.
Yes.
I'm going to need you to peg me, Jess.
I'm going to peg you.
Yeah. Once we stop recording.
Yes.
Jess, you peg me here.
Yes.
Here and now.
Oh my God, Matt. I'm sick of
And
having
I'll
this
be-
conversation. I'll do it.
I'll be pegged hard all the way till next week
Yes.
where we can finish this episode.
Correct.
This is hilarious. I don't know if you know this, guys, but peg actually has another meaning.
Wait, what?
Right? Square peg, round hole sort of thing.
That kind of thing?
Like
or-
there's clothes pegs and then
Yeah.
there's tent pegs.
Yeah.
Two different types. So I
Oh.
don't know which one if you're hanging up or if you're pegging down.
Oh, no. I think Jess is just pegging me through and through.
Yeah.
Wow, proper pegging.
Right here in the
A royal
studio.
pegging, would you say?
Yeah. Anyway, I think that brings us to everyone's favourite
Nice
section of the
try
show.
stopping the actuallys for coming, but they will still come.
I could just see one in
I wanted
many thousands.
Yeah, no, I do. I definitely, I'm like fishing for them, but when they happen, I feel bad for the person who says it.
Who's very sincere. Gosh.
That actually was pretty funny accidentally on your comedy show. When
You guys, you three comedians, you were accidentally somewhat funny.
Yeah, it's actually a bit ironic, but anyway, that brings us to everyone's favourite section of the show where we thank some of our fantastic supporters. If you want to be one of these supporters, go to patreon.com/dogoonpod and you get all sorts of rewards and benefits and other things if you get involved there. Dave will be able to break that down pretty quickly for you now.
Oh, bonus episodes galore. Over 200 bonus episodes in the back catalogue, plus 3 soon to be 4. Bonus episodes released every single month, adding to that. And you get access to all of them, like I'm saying. You can be in the Patreon Facebook group, which is a very lovely corner of the
Loveliest
internet.
corner of the internet.
And, they organise activities and swaps now amongst themselves, which is, it's taken on a life of its own. We love it.
Last month, we did a Patreon day at the footy. So, it was organised by one of our great patrons who works at the AFL, and she organised us tickets, and we had a great time. At the time of recording, it hasn't happened, but I am, man, this will seem bad if there's a disaster there, but.
When is it?
We had a fantastic
What
time.
day?
Saturday.
I don't think I've been to the football since 1996.
You coming?
That would be cool. When is it? Sorry, this
Saturday, late over.
Oh.
Oh, we'll talk after the pod.
Yeah, let me know. And if there's any future ones, love to go to the doggies. My boys. Chris Grant and the boys. He's still playing, right? Ted Whitten still punting
I've
them
got
out?
some bad news on that front.
But also you can get access to live shows before we tell anyone else about them. You get discounted tickets. And most of all, you get the satisfaction of knowing that we get to keep doing this show forever.
That's right. You keep the lights on and the mics
Exactly.
on.
Appreciate that.
And yeah, one of the other things is shout outs. There's
yes.
different levels. The first one.
Vote for topics. This one was, they told me that I thought that another topic was going to beat this, but this was the one that they wanted.
Just as I think has found a I'm guessing, based on her laughing at herself, she's found a good hip-hop name.
Well, a lot of them required you to input a lot of information. This one just requires your name. So I put in Jess just to see if it was any good. And what it's come up for me is Filthy Jess the President.
Oh, my God.
So I think this one's actually going to
Oh my
rule.
God!
Holy
That's
shit.
so good.
How good is that?
Yeah. it's
Filthy
gonna be hard
Jess
to-
the President.
So
It's
you
gonna
put
be
your
hard to
name in.
top.
Can you put in Cobra and see what it does with it?
Why don't I put in Dave?
Okay.
Oh no, it's come up. It's generated another one for me, and it's gorgeous, like gorgeous, but it's GAWD.
It's clever, though.
That's
It's
pretty good.
Making good jokes there.
Yeah,
This thing's coming for our jobs. But Filthy Jess the President is very, very good.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to be able to beat that. But the first thing we like to do is it's a section called Fact, Quote, or Question, which has a jingle, I think. Go something like this.
fact, quote, or question.
Huh. He always remembers the ding. And she always remembers the sing. And the way this works is if you're on the Sydney Scheinberg level or above, you get to give us a fact, quote, or a question, or a brag, or a suggestion, or really whatever you like. You also get to give yourself a title. And this week, first up, we have Pete Holberton, a.k.a. wannabe steely-eyed missile man.
We all do.
Yeah, but he's closer to it.
I was attempting to be one before. We were having a bit of tech support from Evan who runs Stupid Old Studios here and knows all the tech stuff. We were having a little problem, so we called him, and then he was trying to, over speaker, talk me through turning off buttons, flicking switches. I really felt like I was, on Apollo 13.
I think, I thought you looked like you were as well, but I just want to say, Evan's not the only one who runs Stupid Old Studios.
No, I meant to say as the technical.
It's a team game here, and we all play our part.
What the fuck do you do?
Actually, no, to be
What
fair,
do you
Matt
do?
is the one who dialed in Evan's number, so you
Yeah.
were part of that.
That's
Without
true.
you, we wouldn't have made it.
That's
so thank
true,
you.
yeah.
That's true. What a hero.
Yeah.
Thanks, mate. Thanks
I'm
for
more
being-
talking about Emma, probably.
Yeah.
Emma and Evan, probably the two main ones. But I definitely am here if you need.
I mean, Al's the most useless now, isn't he? Because he fucked off to Canada.
Yeah.
No. He's part of the North America division now.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
the president of the North America
spreading
division.
the good word.
Expansion. Anyway, Pete Holberton, wannabe steely-eyed missile man,
Got it, Pete.
has offered us a fact. And that fact is, a Catholic rule states that the bishop of a port that launches a voyage becomes the bishop of any territories discovered on that voyage.
Ah!
There's a story that the Bishop of Orlando tried to use this rule to claim the moon as part of his diocese since Apollo 11 launched from there. Thanks, that is so
That's
funny.
awesome.
I love a religious person who's in it for the ego.
I'm actually the bishop of the moon.
Sees it as a territory grabbing
Yeah.
thing.
Thanks for all the laughs, as always. Loved seeing you all during the comedy festival, and the quiz show is fantastic. Oh my god.
Love you, Pete.
Pete,
Thank
you're
you,
such a
Pete.
gentleman.
You're the best, Pete.
Of course, if people want to check it out, it's on the Stupid Old channel on YouTube right now. Watch the quiz show for free.
Always nice seeing Pete and Sarah standing at the back of the room at the bar, not taking a seat that they've paid for.
Large men.
Just tall, big men. You can see their little silhouettes from stage sometimes, and you feel comfortable. You feel safe.
Jeez, your eyesight's good.
I can see a silhouette.
Yeah, from the back of the room. Holy shit! Lucky
Yeah.
to see the front row.
I can make out shapes.
So that's Pete, and our second and final one this week is also from
Pete?
a regular
There's going to be two.
showgoer, Soph Waldron, aka owner of Cursed Shoulders.
You do have cursed shoulders,
So sorry. We're so sorry about that.
Soph has a question writing, I'm coming up on my mid-year gemology exams.
Mhm.
Is that right?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Keep
Study of
reading and
gems?
maybe she'll explain.
For my final year, and I'm super stressed about it. I'm trying to play it cool.
Oh, gemology. I thought you were saying the study of Gemoan.
Oh,
That's gemonology. This is
Sorry.
gemology.
Obviously, a common mistake. I'm sure she comes across many times.
I'm not sure if it's just that I love what I'm learning or if it's being more mature now, but despite the stress, I'm enjoying this degree so much more than when I was at uni in my 20s, which I did twice. And now Soph comes to a question. If you were to get a degree at this point in your life, what would you want to study?
Something that's going to make me heaps of money.
Okay.
You know?
Finance.
Yes.
Accounting.
Whoa. They don't make a lot of money, do they? I pay them a lot of money.
What about
crime.
Criminology.
But crime doesn't pay.
Wait, crime doesn't pay?
Why?
Yeah.
What?
Well, I don't think it pays in a traditional way. I think they mean there's not a wage that you pull
Exactly.
from crime.
Yeah.
No, but the
You're not getting super.
satisfaction
You just get
is-
lump sums from
Yeah.
robbing the bank.
You're not really paying tax either, I suppose.
Is there a tertiary education option for bank robbing?
It's probably a short course.
I think it's called finance.
That bit of fun.
You'd be doing doctor reporting, wouldn't you, Dave?
I do Dr. Pod, but I had to pick something new. Always had a little interest in archaeology.
Oh yeah,
That's what I wanted to be when I was a kid, and I think it would be quite fun to study. And I don't know
very
if I
interesting.
would actually get a job out of it now, but I think that I would enjoy learning about that. So I think that would be something that I'd do purely for fun.
I'd love to, painting or something like that.
Oh, that's good.
Oh yeah, that'd be nice. I'd probably go into something in like the health industry if we're answering genuinely. Like not doctor because
Takes too long.
I can't.
Surgeon?
It takes too long. It's probably surgeon.
Yeah.
Probably
Probably
and then
head
that way
heart
I could
surgeon.
make everybody call me Mr. Perkins.
Yeah.
like surgeons do. That'd be fun.
Good one.
What is a female surgeon?
Oh, I don't know. I don't think we've discovered one yet. Science hasn't come up with an answer for that.
I'd probably maybe like I'd be an osteo or something like that. Probably.
Oh, that's cool. And Matt, do you have one?
Painting.
Oh,
Painting.
Yeah, sorry.
Said that.
Jesus Christ. Did you
Sorry,
listen to a word I
But
said?
Matt, do you have an actual worthy one? Not a joke
One
one?
that's worth actually putting some time
Yeah, one that
into?
could be a job. Mine's archaeology, so
Yeah.
it's not really.
Yeah.
One that could be a job.
Actually, you know what I would do? Sorry, I'm going back to like the health industry one, but I would do something that would mean I end up being able to do like injectables for people because that shit's expensive. So surely
Okay.
you're getting some of that, you know?
Injectables.
Yeah, like Botox and filler and stuff
Do you
like
have to
that.
be a nurse? Is that how, like, minimum?
Most are, yeah.
Good. Okay, that's. I think that's good. I mean, I paid a lot of money to start doing private French lessons, so maybe
Yeah.
I could just do a degree in that.
Yeah.
But do you have to start good? I don't know.
I have started in the past, in 2020, started a course in Auslan, Australian Sign Language.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, that's great.
I would genuinely do that again.
Great. And Matt, what real one would you pick?
History?
Oh my god, Matt, come
Is
on.
that what you mean?
Something that you could actually like. It's not worth getting more of that bloody hex
I'll
debt,
do-
mate.
Electrician. I'll do an apprenticeship.
Yeah, that's
I'll take
good.
that.
That's
I'll
good.
take that if you can put some lights in for me. My smoke alarm's been going crazy.
Change the batteries, Dave.
Oh, I'll call in the professionals.
Get detector inspector out. Are they listening? We'll do an ad for you if you want.
Apparently, they're phasing out gendered titles for surgeons.
Ah,
Not using the term Mr. anymore. This is RACS, but this might be America. They'll now be referred as doctor or by academic titles like professor, breaking the anachronistic title of Mr. for surgeons. But I think that might be America. I don't know about Australia.
it says I've also googled it. What are female surgeons called in the UK? It says Miss, like Miss, Ms, or Mrs.
There you go. I didn't realise.
Thanks, Mrs.
Yeah,
Mrs.
I don't like
fine.
that. Miss
Oh no,
Perkins?
that's Australia. Sorry, what I was reading.
Okay.
Royal Australasian College of Surgeons. So sorry about that, but yeah, you can't win. That's another thing that you can't whinge about. I'm afraid.
But I would choose Mr.
Yeah.
I would be Mr. Perkins, and I think that's very cool. And even once it's like it's changed and everybody's just using doctor again, I'll be like, no, Mr.
As a feminist, I'm getting pretty frustrated. We've got less and less things that we can rail against now that we have equality.
Yeah, it is hard for you, isn't it?
For me and my people. So the other thing we like to do is shout out to a few other people, and I think, Jess, you may have come up with a game.
It's so funny you say that, Matt, because I was thinking, given that we've talked about some amazing hip-hop rap names today, Wurundjeri for a perfect example.
One of my genuine favourites is Del, the funky Homo sapien.
Oh, that's
That
fun,
is
yeah.
very good. I thought it could be pretty fun to give people a rap name. And I've actually found a random rap name generator.
Whoa.
Oh, well, should we test how it works? For example, put my name, Dave, in and see what comes up.
Okay, let's find out. Dave, we generate Professor Dave Beats.
Oh, yeah.
So Professor Dave's pretty good.
Yeah, because I was thinking Dave's going to be hard. And
Well-
that, proved it.
What
But
about this one? Ill Dave McGee.
that's pretty fun.
That's pretty badass.
If you made it Lil Dave McGee, that's pretty good.
Flapjack Dave the coldest.
This thing's incredible.
This thing fucking rules.
All right, well, stop burning them. Here, do you want, so if you're going to be coming up with them, Jess?
Yep.
Dave, I'll read out the name and the place, and you give Jess what part of that she should be entering into the
I see.
system. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Gotcha.
Probably just go first name, but see what you feel.
You go.
First up, I'd love to thank from Murrelbach here in Victoria. It's Matt Brereton.
What about you put in Matt B and see what it
Okay.
does with Matt B?
Okay, fantastic. Matt B, generating. Missy Matt B the chemist.
Missy Matt B. Fuck. It doesn't miss.
That's very good.
Doesn't
Missy
Missy.
It doesn't Missy.
Missy Matt B.
the chemist.
Jeez, we're getting even closer to home from Brunswick East here in Victoria. It's Jose Malagrito.
Jose absolutely is perfect.
Jose is such a great name.
We're going JOSE.
Yes.
JOSC, please.
Generate.
Is that Warren G's song? No, Regulate.
Regulate. Great track.
What about Jose the disciple?
Oh, yeah.
You like it.
That's not bad.
I like it.
Baby Jose Malone is another option. Whatever you choose, Jose.
From Hull in Great Britain, it's Peter English.
That's going to be Pete E for sure.
Pete E. That's fun. Okay. Generating. Pete E. the brain.
Oh, yeah. He plays that role of the Dre or the big, sort of the behind the scenes. I was going to say puffy, but, you know, he does it without all the crimes.
Yeah. What about Red Pete? Red Pete E. the leader.
Oh, yeah. Again,
Red E. Pete, the leader.
The leader.
This is what I'm saying. This
is good stuff.
He's group leader for sure.
Yeah.
That's great.
Absolutely.
Then I'd love to thank from Portland, Oregon in the United States, Lauren Murphy.
What is it? Lauren Murph.
Okay.
Sorry, Murphy without the Y.
Or just
Love it.
Murph.
Murph's good too, yeah.
Okay, it's actually Dave's choice though. That's the crazy thing is that like you actually said, Dave, I'll read the name and then you tell Jess
He's
which
just
part to
making,
put into
he's
the generator.
making bad choices.
And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to say overruled Murph. Put it in.
Oh my god, Dave. I battled for you.
I know, but like,
And you spat in my face.
Spat hot rhymes.
What about Murph Bars? With a
Murph
Z.
bars.
Yeah, it's not good. Murph the Hustler.
Uh-huh.
and if you put in Lauren Murph,
Scumbag Murph.
Oh, yes. We
There
found
it
it.
is.
We
There it
found
is.
it.
It's the first one we've had to go to number 3, but it was worth it.
Scumbag
Scumbag Murph.
From Linwood in Washington in the US, Eli.
Oh, okay. I think you should probably type in Eli for this one.
Yeah, I've done that.
Let me have some control.
Stodgy Eli.
Oh, my God. Stodgy is such a great word.
Or Eli the Dream.
I like
That's
that.
good.
I feel like stodgy, like it could just be stodgy E. Sounds pretty funny.
Yeah, Stodgy E.
Stodgy E.
Got easy E and
What
Stodgy E.
about Top Eli Bitcoin?
That was about 6 years ago when crypto was so big. Yeah. I'll put Bitcoin in there. I'll be huge.
Yeah. Get on early. From Austin in Texas, stay weird.
Stay weird.
Claire Campbell.
Just Claire. Just want to hear Claire.
How are we spelling Claire?
Claire.
Okay, with an I. Fantastic. Let's find out. Claire's rap name. Trippy Claire de Hustler. Really likes de Hustler.
Well, yeah.
Trippy Claire's pretty
Ooh,
good.
Claire Swag.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also known as C Swag.
C Swag.
C-Swag.
That's
You've
good.
punched that up. Well done, Dave.
CC Swag, because it's Claire Campbell, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
CC Swag.
That's awesome. Perfect. We've nailed it.
CC Swagcock. Like CC Babcock.
That would be a very good
That's awesome.
like drag name. Kind of. Probably not.
CC Swag Cock.
That's good stuff.
But it's a clean.
I think it's awesome.
From Newton Centre in MA, which always trips us up, is that Massachusetts?
I think so.
Emily Sharp.
Oh, what about, can you have
E Sharp.
E sharp.
E sharp?
Come
Oh,
on.
yes. That's fucking great.
That's really good.
By which we mean F.
It comes up error. There is no such.
Louis E sharp.
Louis E.
Louis E
That's
sharp. Or
clumsy
Fat
sentence.
E sharp.
Fatty Sharp.
Fatty
I
Sharp.
don't mind Fatty Sharp.
Fatty Sharp is
That's
kind of
pretty
cool,
good.
actually.
Was it F or PH word on the
Red
front?
E Sharp, the architect. It's just coming out with colours at this point. King E Sharp, the prez.
Oh, we're circling back around.
Oh,
with
yeah,
some-
because you were Jess.
Something the president.
Yeah, that was great.
Thank you so much, Emily Sharp. What about from Manuka in the Australian Capital Territory? It's Rose.
Oh, do you reckon we could pump... It's Monica.
Monica, sorry, of course.
But,
Monica Oval.
But what have you...
Manuka.
But it's so
That's
easy
honey.
to... It's
That's
so
honey.
easy to do. It's so easy to do. And I even...
Monica. That's where they play. The Giants play home games.
And
there.
I'm married into a Canberran family, so I would have been absolutely...
Yep.
And they all listen.
Got a few messages they actually do. Shout out. What about Rose Monica? Put that fully in.
Rose. And how are we spelling Monica?
Manuka.
Man.
With a K.
Is that
So
how
it
you-
looks like Manuka.
Yeah.
Is that how you spell things out? Okay, how do you spell your surname? Stu.
A root.
Rit. What do you just spell it, man?
I don't know. I thought I was being efficient, but
I got it.
Man, ooh. It could have been anything.
This one's nailed it in the first one. Creative Rose Manica de Plug.
oh, the plug. They like duh as well.
Creative Rose.
Rose Manica Dukes.
Oh yeah,
That's good,
Put
Monica.
up your Dukes.
Monica Dukes.
Monica Dukes.
Yeah, I like
Rose Manica Dukes.
Rose
Love it.
Monica Dukes.
Put them up.
Slick Rose Manica Moolah.
Monica Moore's awesome.
Monica Moore's really
That's
good.
pretty fun. Choose whatever you like there, Rose.
Finally, from Baltimore, which I think where Tupac was for a little while. Is that right? Am I remembering that, Dave?
Did he go down to Boston?
No, obviously not.
He moved somewhere as a
He
child.
moved-
Was that Baltimore?
Oh, no, that was, Tupac did go to the Baltimore School for the Arts. You're absolutely correct. Where also he met Jada Pinkett.
So if anybody listening thinks, I don't think Jess and Matt were listening to that report.
Yeah.
Honestly, you knew more than I did.
That's
From
yep.
Baltimore in Maryland, in the United States, Bethany, Ireland,
Bethany, Ireland.
as in the country Ireland.
What about just Beth? B-E-T-H.
All right.
Just
Generating.
because you think Beth, that's not much of a hip-hop name. Let's hear it.
Let's find out. Professor Beth.
Yeah.
But it's Professor with an A at the end.
Yeah, great. So, Professora?
No.
Do you think that's
Professor Beth. I like it.
because? Yeah, that's because of the change to surgeon names.
Yeah.
Oh, it used to be...
Used to be Mr.
So
Beth.
it's now it's gone by Italian rules where like A is feminine and O is masculine. So male professors are professors.
Professor.
Another option is Satin Beth or Swag Beth
I like...
or
What about,
Supreme Beth
oh, yeah, Supreme Beth.
if you
or Real
combine-
Beth de Baptist.
What about Professor Supreme Beth de Baptist?
Oh, yeah. I think we got it.
Super Duper Beth. Sorry to throw another one in
Super
there at the
duper
end there, but-
Supreme Professor Beth the Baptist.
I don't think we beat the one that you got first up. The president one.
Okay, Matt, we're all just doing our best.
We're all doing our best.
Including the rap name generator.
Well, you haven't done one for me yet.
Oh, yeah, okay.
But while you're doing that, let me thank Bethany, Rose, Emily, Claire, Eli, Lauren, Peter, Jose, and Matt.
Well, Dave didn't tell me what to write in, so I've made an executive decision. So your rap name is Skip Cockhead Monster.
And that was your input?
A cockhead was, yeah.
Skip Cockhead Monster. That's not far off a nickname I had at
Pretty Cockhead the
school.
Chemist. That's pretty good.
What was your nickname? What'd you get?
Skip Cockhead Mon.
All right, hang
So
on.
I was pretty close.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Let's do one for Matt. Clutch Matt Rascal
Oh, I like that a lot. Rascal's very fun.
or Swoop Matt Scheme. So that's fun. Senior Matt. That's pretty good,
yeah,
actually.
we found it. Senior Matt's my father's name. My daddy rapper's name.
My daddy rapper.
Well, that brings us to the last thing we need to do is welcome some people in the Triptych Club, which Dave is so good at explaining.
Basically, this is our Hall of Fame, where we add in members every week who have been supporting the show on the shout-out level or above for 3 consecutive years. Already given them a little shout-out, a nickname a few years ago. But to say thank you, to enshrine them for their continued support, we welcome them into our Theatre of the Mind Triptych Club, which is a hangout space, a zone where you can eat food, drink, see live music, play games, have a little sleep. There's a little, rest area, showers, all the nice things that you need. Maybe even a bath or two, a pool. We've got it.
We've got it all.
We've got it all.
But
Hockey.
stay the fuck away from the air hockey table. That's mine.
And
Oh.
You've put ice on it again, haven't you?
Oh my God. Every time you say, because I think I double trick myself. I think, no, I thought it was air hockey, but it's ice hockey. I keep saying that every week.
I don't know how you're putting ice on it.
Well, it's labor intensive.
Well, stop doing it.
It takes a lot of work.
So stop. I don't want you to do it. I want to play air hockey.
I'm just trying to make you happy.
No, you're not, though. Anyway, we'll keep this fight to ourselves.
So we've got 5 inductees this week.
Okay.
Dave, you've booked a band for the after party?
Yes, you're never going to believe it. I've been working on this for a long time, and there's a lot of gentlemen involved in this, and it took me a long time to get them all to agree. I'm talking all.
Wow.
To agree to come down, and that is Wu-Tang Clan
Whoa.
are here.
All of them.
All of them. Well, everyone except for Capadonna, one of the later members. Couldn't make it. Scheduling conflicts. Sorry, Capadonna.
Had his nephew's wedding.
Yeah.
Could not reschedule the wedding.
Appreciate, all your work, Capadonna, but couldn't be here tonight. But everyone else, you God.
But congratulations to your nephew.
Yeah, congratulations.
Yeah.
Pass on our best.
Yeah, we're not holding against you at all.
We've actually sent them a gift.
Dave's
gravy
actually
boat.
going to fill in on Capadonna's
Yeah,
parts.
I've been learning them.
Wow.
Waiting for this moment.
So we got 5 inductees. Jess, have you said what you've got behind the bar?
Well, we're finally getting the stove fixed.
Okay.
Right,
Thank
so there's a
goodness.
guy working on the stove. So I've had to get in some external catering. So I called a local burger joint, Biggie Smalls.
Oh my God.
And so, yeah.
And got a recommendation from
Got
them?
a recommendation for a local fish and chip shop who are happy to bring
New York style
one
fish
dim
and chips?
sim for each person.
Wow.
And a small chips
Okay.
to share.
But there's actually one extra because we thought Capadonna was going to make it.
Yes.
So,
So-
there's one extra.
So we can split that up 5 ways for the new inductees. Of course, there's hundreds of people already in there, so we'll see how we can
There
spread
we
it.
go.
But anyway, I'm on the door, lifting the velvet rope. I'm going to read out some names off my clipboard here. If you hear your name, jog your way in. You're going to get a rapturous applause.
Mm-hmm.
Dave's up on stage emceeing. He's hyping the crowd into a frenzy.
Yeah, Capadonna
He's frothing
style.
them up. It's almost like Capadonna himself is here.
It's almost
But
like...
again, Capadonna is at a wedding.
Well, that's what I've told everyone. It's almost like I've locked him in his bedroom and said, sorry, I've got to do it. And he's gone,
Capadava.
no.
And Jess is also going to help Dave out because sometimes the way, I don't know why, but the way he MCs and hypes people up is by doing some weak wordplay based on their name or their place of origin.
And
Unbelievable.
you're saying you can't have a hype man?
Oh, Jess is hyping you.
Yeah, but you said that's a weird thing to have a hype man.
No, it's weird that you need a hype man.
Or
no,
is it
you're
because
right.
I'm a hype woman?
Tell that to Wu-Tang. They're always hyping each other
That's
up.
a good point.
High fives all around.
All right. Hands are on butts.
All
You've
right.
got this, Dave.
Here we go. First up from St. Clair in South Australia, it's Nickabus.
Taking care of Nicker business.
Oh, fuck you, Matt. That was incredible.
That was really good, actually. From Brunswick here in Victoria, it's Zoe Milne.
Putting on a showy with Zoe Milne.
Oh.
From Brewley in New South Wales, perhaps it's Sean Onstank.
I believe it's Browley, but the way you said it, I'm going to say Sean Onstank is my Broly.
Yes.
From Coburg here in Victoria. Been a big Victoria heavy shout out day. I'd love to thank and welcome into the club Luke Ockenden.
It ain't no fluke that Luke is here.
My God, he's on fire.
And finally, from address unknown, can only assume from somewhere deep within the fortress of the moles, please welcome Will Vickery.
More like Will Victory.
Welcome in, Will, Luke, Sean, Zoe, and Nickabus. Please make yourselves at home. Grab yourself a dimmy and get ready to enjoy Dave as Capadonna.
Very excited to be the Capadonna of the night.
Yeah.
Is there anything we need to tell people just before we go?
That I've just put do go on into a rap name generator, and it's obviously just too many words because it's just putting something at the front.
Professor
But so
Do Go
far,
On.
Frosty do go on. That's pretty good. Cold do go on. That's the same thing.
Frosty.
Mr. do go on with an A again at the end.
It's. I don't think it's interested anymore. It's lost
do
interest.
go on money.
It's phoning it in.
Mr. Dugon is so a rap group. Mr. Dugon.
Sometimes that's how emails are addressed to us. They are usually spam.
Maybe Lusty Thruple could also be our group name.
Yes, but no. Okay.
And our pub. Named after the pub.
What we want to tell people is that, like Dave mentioned at the start of this episode, you can suggest a topic. Anybody can at dogoonpod.com, which is our website. There's also a link in the show notes. And you can find us on social media at Do Go On Pod. And we're Do Go On Podcast on TikTok. And we would love, if you have TikTok, go over there, give us a little follow, would you?
Please, it's embarrassing without you.
It's so embarrassing.
We're putting up little videos.
And, like, not a crazy amount. We're not going to flood your FYP, but when you see it, you'll be like, ha, 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 that was a bit of fun. Now back to videos of dogs.
Exactly.
FYP. Whip. So what that is? Dave, beat this baby home.
We'll be back next week with episode 450 and the thrilling conclusion to the East Coast, West Coast hip-hop rivalry. But until then, I'll say thank you so much for listening and goodbye.
Later.
Bye.